It's third base time. Before we get into those tiers and rankings and talking about a little baseball, we want to talk about a fantasy football app that we're trying to put together.
Football!
It's kind of a how-to guide. We're on Kickstarter right now trying to raise a little bit of money so that we can pay for all the stuff that we have to do to get it up. So check it out. Link on the homepage or go to Kickstarter and search for Fantasy Football University. Third base ranking.
At least check it out, please. All right, third base rankings. Big shock here. The number one player at third base and our number one overall player, Miguel Cabrera. What else? Let me just read. 348, 44 bombs, 103 ribbies, or 103 runs, 137 ribbies.
Pretty good.
He's awesome. The third base eligibility is why he's our number one overall player over Trout.
And also on that, same note as far as why I would still rather have Cabrera, his third base gets pretty thin real quick. You look at tier 2, Beltre, Wright, Longoria, Zimmerman. All these guys have done it. All these guys could do it again, but all these guys could get hurt day one as well. I mean, they're all a little bit older at this point, and you're just kind of crossing your fingers, hoping that they stay healthy. But all these guys definitely worthy of being in tier 2.
All right, tier 3, going to highlight two guys. The first one's Josh Donaldson, and he's being vastly underdrafted, we feel, at this point. He batted .305, he had 24 home runs and 93 ribbies last year. I mean, this guy's solid across the board. If you miss out on any of these other third basemen, target him. And then also want to talk about Pedro Alvarez, and for the sole reason, 36 jacks last year, and that's not a fluke. This guy swings like a maniac, but when he hits it, the ball goes far. So you're going to get some home runs out of him in your third base position.
It does go far. Tier 4, a couple of youngsters that I'm sure you've heard their name at this point, or maybe you can put it together this year. I mean, Seager is the first guy. He actually had a pretty solid year last year. He's a guy at 26 that could definitely, take his game to even further to the next level. And then Brett Lawrie, I mean, this is a guy that...
It's going to happen. We've never caught it before. It's going to happen this year.
I mean, still not that bad. Double-digit home runs, almost double-digit steals. He didn't have, a full season of at-bats, but as Brent always likes to point out, the pedigree is there. The pedigree is there. So this guy's certainly a guy that could also progress.
He's going late, and everybody's off him finally. We hated the hype machine that he was getting the last 2-3 years. It's finally gone. Now's the time to snag him late. But if you get him, you might want to back him up with another kind of high upside young guy. So I got two for you in tier 5. The first one's Matt Dominguez with Houston. He's going to give you a little bit of power. He's only 24 years old right now, so there's definitely still some upside to go with him. And the other one's Nolan Hernando with the Colorado Rockies. Again, this guy's only 22 years old, so not to bring it all back to Brett, but if you grab him in the late middle rounds, you can get one of these guys at the end of your draft. They're young enough that there's still certainly upside where they can accumulate on the numbers they did last year.
Taking a look at the last tier, a couple guys I wanted to talk about. Lonnie Chisenhall with Cleveland. I mean, this is a guy that we've heard his name. You've probably heard his name at some point as well. Not to the same level as some of these other guys, but he's
not like Brett Lawrie.
He's another prospect that has a lot of potential. One thing I like from him is last year, 20 extra base hits and 289 at bats. So that is not too shabby. And another guy is Trevor Plouffe out there with the Twinkies. He's a guy that's kind of started to show that he can hit for power. There is a great third base prospect that the Twins have coming through the system, so there's a chance that he might have to fight for his position as the season goes on, but you gotta like that even more. The pressure's going to be on him to put together some solid stats, and where you can get him in the draft, not a bad game.
All right, so for the CEO and president of FantasySmackTalk.com, I'm Brent Namco. This is Dustin Barkley. Go to our homepage. Kickstarter's on there as well.
Tiers and rankings, cheat sheet on the homepage shortly. Check it out.